Hi guys, it's Jennifer and I'm here getting my brows done. Hello. Do you want to give your business a shout out?
Sure, I'm Ariel Simonetti. I'm the owner of Skin Theory and I'm an esthetician.
And we're in San Diego, obviously. Yep. So she's going to teach us a little bit about brows, why I get my brows done. All right? I'm laying here. This is very personal. I just came from the gym, so I am not cute.
No, yes you are.
But anyway.
So, let me think. The first thing, if you're, say you're going to do your brows at home, work on them yourself, the first thing you want is really good lighting. So if you have a ring light like this, even better. Oh, okay. I don't think it's it. But,
oh yeah, there we go.
But this is great for lighting, or, you know, in your bathroom in front of a big mirror.
Okay.
It's super helpful.
Okay. And why should people get their brows done?
So, reasons for getting your brow done. Well, a lot of the time, just naturally people's brows will grow in. It can cause sort of a downward look in their brow. So if you get them shaped by someone who knows how to shape a brow, you get an instant eye lift without having to do the surgery. So that's like one giant perk. Okay. But another thing too is shaping your brows helps balance out the symmetry in your face. Some people have really full brows and it can like take over. So having them not necessarily thinned out but just balanced out helps create balance over the entire face.
Men? I see a lot of men that need brows.
Yeah, men too. Yeah, absolutely. If a male does want their brows actually shaped, like more what you might call like a feminine shape, that's easy to do too. But usually men just want to clean up, so you're not doing a lot of shaping, you're just getting rid of the stragglers.
Just getting rid of all those, the monobrows.
Yeah.
Boys, we do not like monobrows. Okay? All right. I'm single and I know. So if you are also single, go get your eyebrows. Even if you're married. Like, please look cute for your wife. Or your girlfriend.
So a spoolie is also a really good tool. There are brushes that come with them on the end. You can find these at beauty supply stores. But when you are shaping your brows, you want to make sure you're constantly brushing them so that you can see where they'll naturally fall, so you don't over tweeze or over trim your brow.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You know, most people probably aren't using wax at home, so
yeah,
it's a little tricky. But if you are using wax, or even if you are tweezing, the best rule of thumb is, is to tweeze a few hairs at a time and then take a step back.
Okay.
Yeah, because...
So you don't overdo it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That way you're always checking your work from afar so that you know how it's actually going to look once you're finished and you're walking around.
Right, in life.
The other little tip I could recommend is a lot of people believe that your arch is created... Oh, you got your...
Sorry, I opened my eyes.
No, you're totally fine. Let's do this. I'm gonna get off your lash in a sec. I just have to let it harden.
It's okay, no worries.
So a lot of people think your arch comes from below, so people will carve out too much under their brow. But truthfully, your arch comes from the top.
Oh wow.
Well, it's more of a combination of both. You need to have enough hair up here to create that carve underneath.
Got it.
If there isn't enough, then you're just basically thinning out the brow. The brow is more in style nowadays, and it's a trend doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. But you know, just because even if you're someone who naturally has thinner brows, or you know your brows aren't as dense, that doesn't mean you don't have great brows going on. You can definitely, you know, keep your brows looking fly.
Right. Well, is it like any, so like with fashion, I tell people, like, just because it's in style doesn't mean you should be wearing it.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
Some people probably look better with...
Yes, some people look better with a more trimmed and, I hate saying the word thin, but I can't think of a better word, but yeah, like a thinner brow. Some people don't look good. They might be able to grow a giant full brow, but not everybody looks good with that.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
How... if someone is watching this video from like not in San Diego, how would you recommend they find someone that's good at brows?
Yes. So Instagram is actually a really good tool to find a new brow artist. Yelp used to be the thing to do back in the day, but I don't think Yelp is a reliable source anymore. If you get on Instagram, type in the city you're in, and then with the word brows at the end of it. So if you're in San Diego, you do San Diego brows. Or if you're in Houston, Houston brows, and see what comes up.
Oh, cool.
Look at the photos, pick one that you like, and then go to that person's account and see all their other photos. So if you see consistency with the look of their work, then that's a good brow
Awesome.
artist.
That's an awesome tip. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh.
Okay, so we're just gonna do some tweezing.
Okay.
So another really good tip is with tweezing, always hold the skin really tight. So you're gonna use both of your hands while you're working. If you don't hold the skin tight and you are using your tweezers, one, you might pinch yourself, but two, it actually hurts less. For some reason, when you hold the skin tight, it almost like dulls the sensation of tweezing the hair out, and that really helps with getting through the tweezing without your eyes watering or annoying yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah, so hold the skin really tight with the opposite hand.
Good tip. Do you do any male, like, do you have a lot of male clients?
Yeah, I definitely have more female clients, but I have a lot of male clients. Actually, one coming in later today.
Oh, good. Well, I think I think guys should do mani-pedis and brows, like, and facial hair, like tweezing and that. Do you ever do, like, so with the older you get, male, I don't know about female, the hairier they get. Like, they start getting the crazy nose hair, the crazy ear hair. That do you trim any of that or groom any of that when they're
yes, so I do a lot of nostril waxing, which sounds funny, but it works, and it does not hurt. It doesn't hurt the same. If you were to tweeze a single hair out of your nostril, it would be awful. Okay. But waxing, like, a bunch of hairs at once.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's honestly no big deal. So getting your nostrils waxed doesn't hurt like people think it will.
What about ears?
Ears, same. Ears are the same. You'd think it would hurt a lot, but it doesn't at all. It's just a quick little pull. Usually people, at least with their nostrils, they say it feels like a rush of air has gone through their nose, but it's completely different than trying to tweeze a single hair from your nose. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah. But since I use hard wax, I just use a stick and I get a ball of wax on the end. We put it in there. We don't put it in all far. It's just in the entryway, and then you let it harden, and then boop, you pop it out like popsicle. Oh wow! Yeah, it's funny. Easy. Yeah,
guys, do that, please. Yeah, please, please go get your ears and nose waxed. Yeah, because it's not attractive when you have stuff growing out of your backs.
I do a lot of back waxing. Yeah, do a lot of that.
It's
looking good. Ooh, I have another recommendation. Invest in really good tweezers. So,
really?
Yeah, my favorite brands are RUBIS tweezers and the Anastasia Beverly Hills tweezers. And that's because I'm really familiar with them and I've used them a long time. The reason I like them is because the width of the actual tip of the tweezers, like you probably can't even see this, but it's very thin. It's not thick. It's not a thick tweezer. It's thin, so you can kind of scoop in under the tinier hairs a lot more easily. And
so the ends are thinner?
Yeah.
You actually grip the hair?
Yeah, okay. The actual width of each side is very thin on both the Anastasia tweezers and the RUBIS ones. They're pricier. The RUBIS ones can be anywhere from $25 to $50. The Anastasia ones are around $30, I think. Yeah, but they're worth it.
I'll link to them. And then I think you can buy, I know you can buy Anastasia at Sephora.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. RUBIS, usually you have to get online somewhere. Okay. Or go to like a professional beauty supply store.
Okay. I have another question for you, actually. Yeah. I've heard that if you like you over tweeze or whatever, you shape your brows, that some of the hair stops coming back, but I haven't noticed that myself.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
So some people do have the unfortunate luck where if they over tweeze too many times, then their brows will, some areas won't grow back in. Sometimes the area is just dormant, so if you use something like castor oil or another hair growth serum, it can help kick it into gear. But that's only if if that hair follicle's gone dormant, which means it can kind of be re-stimulated. But if it's actually gone dead, where there's just there's nothing that's going to re-stimulate hair growth, then yes, you deal with holes in the brow or thin tails, and that's where cosmetics like brow pencils or powders come in, and then there's also options for semi-permanent or permanent cosmetics.
Okay, thank you. Okay. What about Brazilian and that sort of waxing? What are the trends I'm not putting, that's not coming on camera.
Okay, so actually, that's actually a really good question. So, for a very long time, and still to this day, the biggest trend with a Brazilian wax was to take everything off, right? But it wasn't until like the mid-90s, late 90s, that even taking that much off became popular. Before then, most women just did like bikini waxing. Maybe they would come in a little bit more, but most women kept everything kind of there. But now what's happening is my clients are asking for hair left behind again. So, you know, maybe like a triangle or a patch, a really thin line. I've even done a heart.
Oh, that's funny.
Actually, I even did a mustache on somebody, like the cartoony, like,
I know mustache. Someone that has that.
Oh, do you?
I mean, I don't know that they have. I haven't seen it.
So what I mean is,
I heard. I promise.
So I'm gonna adjust it. No, you're fine. So what I mean by waxing those shapes in is like the hair left behind was in that shape.
Right.
But yeah, so you know, women are requesting it for themselves. Some request it because their partner asked for it. So, but yeah, what I'm noticing lately is more
trend to leave some behind again.
Exactly. More women are leaving hair behind.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so trimming your own brows is tricky. It's even tricky for me, and I've been doing this for a very long time. And it's just because of the angle that you're at. So my rule of thumb is use your spoolie, right, your best friend. Brush the hairs up. I would not use the spoolie to hold the hair in place because you actually have to be pretty skilled with trimming to know how much not to trim when you're using that technique, because a lot of times if you brush the hair up and hold it in place, you actually wind up trimming more. So just gently brush the brows up. You can even use a little brow gel because it'll help them stick and stay stiff while you trim. So put a little brow gel in here, brush them up, and just do tiny little snips. Don't try and line the whole blade of the scissor up with the angle you want of your brow, because you'll take off more than you want. So just use the tip of your scissors to snip off tiny bits and just gradually get to a nice straight line. But just do a little at a time and be conservative. They don't have to be perfectly trimmed. It's okay. Any little bit of trimming helps. So
okay.
Good tip there.
And then they're supposed to be like sisters, not twins.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or that most people have sisters, not twins.
Right. Most people have sisters, not twins. It's true. Like, for example, you are a little more dense on this brow in the front than you are on this brow, and that's totally normal. And nothing. When people look at you, they don't think, "Oh my God, her brows are so different."
Well, I do.
Well, yeah. Well,
unless I come here, and then they look more similar.
And but yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know, just getting them as close to twins as possible.
Right is the goal.
Yeah. With you, Jennifer, because you know you do have pretty full brows.
Yes.
Our goal while doing your brows is to create that balance that I was telling you about.
Right.
That's a big part, and it really, when yours are shaped the way they should be, your face opens up a lot.
Oh yeah, especially as I've aged and my eyes have.
Have you
gravity.
Noticed? Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I'm gonna fill Jennifer's brows in with a brow pencil. This is a brand called Kaylin, but this exact pencil is in a lot of different lines, including the Anastasia Beverly Hills line, which you can absolutely find at Ulta. I forget what she calls hers, but it's basically the pencil. It's a like mechanical pencil, so you can twist it up, and the tip when you first get it is shaped like a triangle, and then it has a spoolie on the end. So when you are filling your brows in with a pencil, you want to make sure you're not filling them in like you're using a crayon. You don't want to color every inch of the brow in. What you want to do is throughout the whole brow, you want to do little hair strokes. And then every few strokes you flip it around and then you blend it out. And that keeps it from looking heavy, and it keeps things from looking too blurry. You're not darker in one area than another. And another tip is start off by only filling in the areas that don't have as much hair, because if you fill those in, it actually kind of balances out with the areas of the brow that are already dense.
So true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because if you fill in where the hair is dense already, then it's just going to make it darker, and it won't look like a balanced colored brow.
Okay, I did not know that.
I know, right?
I just could fill in everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
So, like, for example, I'm going to start here, right? So, we do little hair strokes, right? And then blurry. She also, Anastasia makes a brow wiz, which is a thinner tip pencil.
Yes.
And that could be more helpful for people just starting out. So, I just did a few strokes, and I've blended it out. And you just keep going back in until you feel like it's done. But just start off with strokes. That way it doesn't look too heavy. There we go. And then we're going to move over to here. So this is where our carve out is with the arch. So I usually play connect the dots with the bottom row, and then I blend that line into the brow. And don't worry if you go outside of the brow, if you fill in too much. Like, it's just makeup. You can always go back and redo it. I don't recommend trying to fill your brows in when you're on a time crunch, because that's when it'll never work out the way you want. So if you're ever in a rush, just maybe stick to like tinted brow gel. Yeah, or all natural. Yeah, exactly. And you want to be careful with the front here, because if you do fill it in too heavily, like it's much more noticeable, because most people have less density of hair in the very front there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've noticed with age my brows have just thinned.
Yeah.
So that's a normal
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Like just like men and losing their hair on their head.
Yeah,
we
exactly. Yeah.
lose our hair in our brows.
Yeah, it's super annoying. So I'm just gonna.
Well, I'd rather have less eyebrow than less hair. If you guys want to come to Ariel's place, it's adorable. It's a little cottage in, are we in North Park?
Yeah.
It's so cute. What other services are here?
So, besides my waxing services, there's Cody, my sister-in-law, who does hair.
Okay.
So we share the studio together.
Is she in the same building as you?
She's right in this cottage.
Cute little one. Okay.
And then next door in the other cottage, we have Martha, who's a manicurist and an amazing nail artist.
Oh, cool.
Then we have Kim, who's actually the owner.
Okay.
And she is a facialist. So she does skin.
I could like waxing, do everything here.
Oh yeah, we're a one-stop shop.
Oh,
exactly.
that's so cool. I did not realize that.
Totally. So there's just a whole gang of us here, and
also another way to find a good eyebrow person is to ask your friends, because that's how I found you. Is
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My hairdresser, Blake.
Who's an amazing hairstylist.
Who I love, yes, very much.
So another tip is, if you haven't had a chance to shape your brows, but you want them to look a little more perfected or even slightly filled in, if you take your favorite highlighter, I'm using the Anastasia highlighter duo,
I have that one.
It's called. Yeah, it has a shimmer end and then a matte end. If you take the matte side and just put a little line underneath the shape of your brow, and then you take a flat edge brush like this. Isn't that how they focus? I'm the YouTuber now.
You are a YouTuber. Wow.
You take this guy and blend it out really nicely, and that'll give you an instant eye lift as well.
Awesome.
So you'll
All right,
see
so
right
we'll
here.
see it.
So this is what we do. You just draw a little line like this. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even need a lot. You use as little or as much as you want. I like to pinch the brush before I do it, and you just go back and forth along under the shape. And this is another time where you want to hold the skin tight. It makes it easier to just pass the brush back and forth. So you blend it out. Okay. Like that. I even use my finger a little bit.
Now I wish I had gotten made
It's an instant eye lift.
Awesome, thank you. Now I wish I had like eye makeup on before I came, but wasn't in the cards today. Yeah.
And it covers up like any little miscoloration.
Oh,
mistakes.
okay.
Yeah. Or yeah, like discoloration, or you know, if you just got waxed, like.
And it doesn't it also like also help open the eye a little?
Oh,
like,
absolutely,
more,
yeah,
because
exactly.
it draws the eye, because the light draws the eye up into that area,
Yes.
which is why people highlight and all of that.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we all look at for the light and the shine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes, it brings it. Essentially, it brings it forward. Which also, like, because, you know, dark recedes,
yes.
light comes forward, so.
Which is why you look thinner in dark clothing.
Yes, exactly.
Because it absorbs
Exactly.
the light.
Exactly,
so you don't see details.
It's science.
Just
people.
FYI, it is science. It is. No, there's definitely science to it.
So these are Jennifer's brows all done, filled in.
All right. Hope you guys all like them. I do.
They look
good,
gorgeous.
don't they? Fabulous. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for
Thanks,
going on
guys.
camera.
I hope you guys got some good tips. I hope they help.
Yep, they will. All right. See you guys later. Bye.